Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Come Again, Say What, where we delve into the ludicrous world of fame and fortune. And today we're gonna unravel the mystifying rise and fall of none other than the rapper YNW Melly, who I'm sure you're very familiar with considering the publicity of his recent trail. And with the seriousness of his charges, some might wonder, how did we end up here? Well, let's start from the beginning. Yes, the good old days. YNW Melly's journey began in the mean streets of Gifford, Florida. A tough neighborhood that saw more drama than a soap opera. But Melly had big dreams of rap stardom, cash, and yes, you guessed it, fame. But fame comes at a cost, and it's not just a hefty price tag on Gucci bags. Jamal Morris Demons came into the world under challenging circumstances. His mother was only 14 years old when she became pregnant with him, as revealed in an official YNW Melly documentary released online in December 2018. At the tender age of 14, she gave birth to Jamal while still in the 9th grade. Despite his early life struggles, Demons showed a natural affinity for music from a young age. In various interviews and the documentary, he fondly recalls being captivated by the talents of Chris Brown and the iconic Michael Jackson during his childhood. However, alongside his love for music, he also admits to an unsettling interest in firearms. In a rather disconcerting revelation, he shares that as early as 4th grade, he stumbled upon a loaded revolver concealed beneath his uncle's couch. Fearlessly, he carried the weapon with him wherever he went, even bringing it to school. The convergence of his passion for music and troubling experiences with firearms would go on to shape the multifaceted personality of the rising artist, YNW Melly. Melly's journey hit warp speed when he dropped his chart-topping hit, Murder on My Mind. But let's be clear, folks, this ain't your typical love song. The lyrics were, shall we say, a tad incriminating. As Melly sang about having murder on his mind, the police started raising their eyebrows. I mean, who would have thought? Then he dropped his debut album, YNW, in 2018, which was soon followed with a collaboration with Kanye West on Mixed Personalities, his biggest hit, released in January of 2019 on his mixtape We All Shine, and the chilling 2017 single, Murder on My Mind, had just gone gold. But not long after the newfound stardom and riches, Melly will soon find himself in a lot of hot water, because in 2019, Melly found himself behind bars, facing not 1 but 2 counts of first-degree murder. Quite the detour on the road to stardom, I must say. Police stated Melly and another rapper, YNW Melly, killed 2 of their friends and staged the crime scene to look like a drive-by shooting. In June 2023, YNW Melly went on trial in Florida, pleading his innocence on all charges. Melly may face the death penalty if guilty of first-degree murder. But Melly's run-ins with the law didn't start here. Melly's run-ins with the law would soon become a prominent feature in media headlines. As reported by a local Florida newspaper, the 16-year-old rapper faced serious charges, including 3 counts of aggravated assault and 1 count of discharging a firearm in public. The incident involved an alleged firing of a gun in the direction of 3 fellow students near their high school. Following this troubling episode, Melly revealed that it was during his time in confinement when he found the inspiration for his haunting track, Murder on My Mind. He recounted waking up one day with the chorus in his mind, setting the stage for a song that would become a defining moment in his music career. Melly's legal entanglements persisted, though the specific details remained somewhat obscured. On April 15, 2017, he took to Facebook to disclose being under home detention. Then, on his 18th birthday, May 1st, he openly apologized to his fans, announcing a 6-month sentence in a level 6 program. He attributed the sentence to his music's negative content, vowing that he did it all for his fans and promising a swift return. In the midst of his legal woes, an interview with Billboard revealed that Melly claimed prosecutors had used his song, Murder on My Mind, against him. He disclosed that during 2017, while on probation, he released the track, which gained popularity over 7 months. However, this period also saw him frequently incarcerated for minor offenses. He admitted having been in and out of jail approximately 6 or 7 times, attributing the arrests to relatively trivial matters. In a tweet he wrote, "I apologize to all my fans. I'll be locked up in Level 6 program for 6 months. I was sentenced on my 18th birthday, May 1st, 2017, due to negative music. Just know I did it for y'all. I'll be back shortly, he added, on June 23rd, turning myself in today. The uncertainty surrounding Melly's legal situation would eventually culminate in his 2019 arrest, further compounding his challenges with the court system. The first week of YNW Melly's trial concluded, with the final day featuring extensive testimony from Felicia Holmes, a registered nurse whose daughter, Mariah Hamilton, was allegedly dating YNW Melly at the time of the 2018 double homicide. The judge faced a motion for a mistrial from the defense, who objected to the state's questioning of Felicia Holmes in the previous week and claimed the prosecution introduced impermissible evidence. Although the judge criticized the state's prosecution initially, after careful consideration, the trial was allowed to continue. On day 10 of the trial, the prosecution presented evidence from a detective sergeant to support their argument that the victims were not killed in a drive-by shooting, as previously suggested, but rather were shot dead from within the car. The medical examiner stated that Anthony YNW Sackchaser Williams was shot multiple times after receiving a fatal gunshot wound to the back of the head. After more than a month since the trial began, the prosecution concluded its case against YNW Melly. Throughout their presentation, witnesses discussed and analyzed footage from the night of the deaths of Anthony YNW Sackchaser Williams and Christopher YNW Thomas Jr. Prosecutors also presented witnesses who scrutinized numerous messages allegedly sent by Melly, attempting to establish that a cell phone found at the crime scene belonged to the rapper. During YNW Melly's trial, various witnesses were called to testify, shedding light on crucial aspects of the case. These witnesses included individuals from Melly's personal life, such as Felicia Holmes, Mariah Hamilton, Trevon Glass, a friend and musical collaborator of YNW members, who was present at a recording studio with the collective before the tragic events, also provided testimony. Additionally, Jorge Bello, a firearms expert from the Broward Sheriff's Office, and Mark Moretti, the lead detective on the investigation, were examined by the state. Moretti, considered the state's star witness, faced extensive cross-examination from Melly's defense team. They attempted to discredit his expertise, questioning his qualification to discuss certain topics like cell phone data location. The defense also argued that investigators prematurely focused on Melly as the primary suspect without adequately considering other potential culprits, a claim refuted by the state and Moretti. Despite multiple motions for a mistrial made by the defense, Judge Murphy consistently denied them. In a significant moment during the trial, the defense called its one and only witness, YNW Melly's friend Adrian Green. However, when the jury was not present in the courtroom, Melly informed the judge that he elected not to testify in the case. During closing arguments, the prosecution sought to prove its case through reconstruction images, aiming to demonstrate that YNW Cortland could not have fired the shots that killed YNW Sackchaser and YNW. They also presented phone tracking data, which they claimed showed Melly's movements during the incident. However, the defense consistently argued that the phone was used communally, challenging the prosecution's interpretation of the data. After the prosecution made its closing arguments, the defense followed suit before the jury began its deliberations. But after hours of deliberations, a mistrial was declared in the South Florida trial of rapper YNW Melly, charged with the murder of two of his friends 5 years ago. The 12-member jury remained deadlocked after 3 days of deliberations, failing to reach a unanimous verdict. Broward County prosecutors, who sought the death penalty, are likely to retry the case with a new jury, as a unanimous verdict is required for conviction or acquittal. Despite Judge John Murphy urging the jurors twice to continue deliberations, he eventually relented after they remained deadlocked. The charges against YNW Melly, whose legal name is Jamal Demons, stem from the shooting deaths of Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr., both members of the YNW collective known as YNW Sackchaser and YNW, respectively. Prosecutors alleged the shooting was gang-related, while the defense countered that the claim lacked credibility, asserting that Demons and the victims were close friends. According to prosecutors, on October 26, 2018, Demons, Williams, and Thomas were in a Jeep driven by Cortland Henry, known as YNW Bortland, following a recording session in Fort Lauderdale. They claimed that Demons fatally shot Williams and Thomas, with Henry charged as an accomplice, facing a separate trial. Prosecutors contended that Demons and Henry then moved the bodies to an area near the Everglades and shot at the back and passenger sides of Henry's Jeep from the outside to make it appear as a drive-by shooting. However, ballistics tests revealed that the victims were shot from inside the Jeep, refuting the drive-by shooting narrative. Defense attorneys emphasized that the gun used in the crime was never recovered, and they argued that YNW Melly had no apparent motive for the alleged murders. Even though the word floating around is that allegedly the two YNW victims were out to extort Melly and that Melly didn't take too kindly to the betrayal and took matters into his own hands. But the jury's inability to reach a unanimous verdict resulted in a mistrial, leaving the case unresolved and potentially subject to a retrial in the future. Which is most likely, seeing that the prosecutors have already requested to move forward with a new trial. Well, that's all we have for now. Hope you're all caught up. Until next time, drop a like, subscribe, and hell, share the video.